Good afternoon. Glad to be standing up here once again after a victory. We had a good bus ride up to Atlanta, and the young man played extremely well. Didn't look like that in the first half. We challenged them at halftime, and it's just good to see that, you know, the good players and all the hard work that this football team is putting in is starting to show up on the gridiron. I know a lot of people was probably saying, here we go again, down 7-0, who go come out the locker room? Well, I'm glad to let you know that the Jaguars came out the locker room with a vengeance, and it's exciting to see those young men come away with a win. It's been a long time since we had a comeback from behind win, and it's just exciting to let you guys know that this football team is getting better every day, and we're working hard every day to continue the success that we're riding right now.
Coach, can you just talk about Anthony's play on defense? I mean, it seems like since the Valley game, he's just done a lot for your team.
Well, you can see the experience. He played a lot last year. One thing about Anthony is that he made a lot of tackles, but that guy's a smart football player. And he's played a lot of football for Southern University. It's just good to see him come into his own and make the plays. 3 huge third down stops to help us get off the field on third down. So I was excited to see his performance, and also was excited to hear that he was co-defensive player of the week in the SWAC.
Coach, when did y'all install the screen passes, especially to Darius Coleman? Was it beginning of the season or after Coach Mitchell left did y'all start practicing?
Well, we ran screens pretty much the entire season. We started in fall camp, and as you look at it, probably our yardage on those has probably been one of our most productive plays. So we've been working on the tailback screen since we've been in fall camp.
Darius Coleman just makes it look like Pierre Thomas of the Saints. I mean, that kid can get up the field and run.
He does a great job of fielding it and reading his blocks. You know, I tell you, that guy's just done a tremendous job for us. A guy that you really didn't really know about coming into fall camp. Due to some injuries, he got a chance to get an opportunity. And that's sort of what we talk to these guys about all the time. Just be prepared for your opportunity. Don't worry about how much you're playing. Don't worry about are you going to play, but just be ready when your name's called.
What do you think has made that play so successful? Because it seems like every time you run it, they got plenty of room.
Well, I think our offensive line sails the pass. Our quarterback do a good job on it, and you know, it's all about execution. You know, and it's also a play that we rep probably a lot in practice. So you expect to see a lot of execution in those plays that you practice the most.
Coach, 3 punts inside the 20. I mean, this guy's getting better every game.
Well, you know, it's in his genes. His father was a great punter, and you know, we realize the tool that we have in him, and it's just exciting to see that young man is starting to punt with some confidence. He struggled early in the year, but you expect that from some of your freshmen. But it's good to see him come on, and we hope he continues to carry the confidence throughout the season.
Coach, can you just talk about late game scenarios for your team? Jackson State, you guys were able to close it out by running the clock out. And this game, you get a big defensive play and you guys score a touchdown. Just what is it with your team in the late games, the last 2 games that you took over?
Well, I'm always talking to the staff about clock management. You know, just understanding the scenarios in the game. We was actually facing the same situation at the end of the FAMU game that we was facing that we faced in Jackson State. Our offense was on the field with a chance to run the clock out and leave no doubt that we was going to get the victory. But, you know, it didn't work out that way. We had the punt, they had the short field, but that's why they call us a team sport. You know, Jackson, the offense pulled us out, and special teams got us off to a great start, and against FAMU, it was the defense able to hold up in the end, and that's a good sign of a good football team.
Coach, what about the penalties? You talk about discipline, 14 against Jackson State, 11 against FAMU. Do you do anything to the team, to the players that are committing the penalties in practice, or just go over film-wise? What do you do on that?
Yes, we have a penalty system for our players. You know, we penalize them for those penalties, and we also pay attention to that detail at practice. The difference is that, you know, we were, I think, 13 for 136 against Jackson and 14 for, I believe, 85 against FAM. So we're not making those big penalties that cost us all those yards. We really got to cut down on those 15-yard penalties. You're going to have some false starts. You're going to have some offsides. That's a part of football. But I talked to the staff this morning. What I told them is that you can get your penalties down to 5 or less, your chances of winning that football game are great.
What about the kicker position? Is that something that's going to be open every week for who starts?
Yes, we really try to chart those guys at practice. And if you look at it, you know, one day one guy's hot, the next day the other guy's hot. But I like the way Hill kicks his PATs. You know, he's perfect right now, and, you know, I don't see no reason why he shouldn't continue to kick them.
Coach, is it crazy to think that you guys have only played, well, after this weekend, only one home game, 4 on the road? It just seems like you guys are tough on the road.
Well, it is. It seems like that, but we'd much rather be at home. Some long bus rides on that road, but it's good to see that these guys can go into enemy territory and come away with a W, and that's exciting. You know, it's tough to go to some of the places that we played, and to come away with a win is a challenge, but we're excited about that opportunity this week to go on the road one more time.
Coach, were there any concerns in that FAMU game? You had about a 30 to 35 minute halftime show. Were there any concerns about that? Did they tell you before that game that you would have that long of a halftime?
No, but when I looked at, you know, they got the clocks in the locker room, and I looked at the clock and it stayed on 20 minutes for a long time, and I said, you know, when we first got to the stadium, you know, we had to go out and get warmed up because they changed the time of the warm-up. So I sent one of the coaches out to say, hey, man, how much time we got? And he's like, we're good. So, you know, we used all that time to really rest our team and make all the corrections, and, you know, as you saw in the second half, it was vital.
What do you think it's going to take to get the run game going?
Well, you know, I've sort of been asking, you know, those guys to figure out a way to get those running backs some open holes. You know, it's going to take our offensive line digging in. We got to get more nastier, and then we got to just stay with it. You know, the yards ain't coming right now, but we got to stick with it, and we got to keep attempting the run. And I just think with due time, we're going to see a breakout game from one of those running backs.
Do you have any concern that it may not come? I mean, I know you've talked about you want to do what you guys do well so far as throwing the ball. Do you have any concern that the running game may not come along?
Well, I'm a defensive guy, so of course I'm going to have concerns about running the football because we know that helps control the clock. You know, it helps keep our defense off the field, and it also allows our offense to continue to move the football. People are going to start doubling our receivers. They're going to start taking them out the game if we can't run the football. So it's always a challenge, and I just believe it's a good sign, and it's a way to show a team that you're dominating them when you run the football.
Is it the offensive lines not opening up the holes, or just a combination of a couple things?
Well, it's more so that, you know, depending on your formation, teams are going to load the box up and prevent you from running the football. Most defensive coordinators will tell you right off the bat that they believe in order to be successful, you got to stop the run. And we played against some teams that are pretty good against the run. But I believe that if we keep trying and keep practicing it, it's going to eventually click.
On the strip and score, the toss back, is that something you guys work on? Do you encourage that, or are you something you kind of sit back and like, don't do that, and then it works out in your favor and you're okay with it?
Well, you never want to handcuff your players. You know, those guys were trying to make a play. And we've been telling them that, hey, we need a scoop and score, we need an interception for a score. When you're not scoring points, or when you're in a tough ball game, it's going to take somebody making a great football play in order for you to come away with a win. Now, would I encourage him to pitch it? Yeah, when he's on his feet, but not as he's falling down. So, but it worked out in our favor, and we were excited to come away with the big play.
Coach, can you just talk about going to Alcorn, a chance to win 3 straight? Hasn't been done since 2009.
Man, you guys keep up with all these records. It's exciting, you know. It gives our kids a chance to go on the road again and show everybody what a great football team we have. And what better place to do it than enemy territory. I feel pretty good where we are. Today is Tuesday. It's a work day. We're going to work them pretty hard and see if we can't get their mind focused on the opportunity that lies in front of them.
Is Kadeem Lewis hurt? I saw he had practice.
He's ankle. He rolled his ankle a little bit there at the end of the game. But he's one of our tougher players, and we just hold him out. And he'll probably try to go today, and I'll keep him on the sideline. So, but I believe he'll be ready to go on Saturday.
And how about Michael Bell? Is there any update on him?
He's questionable.
What have you seen from Alcorn? Anything, any of the tape that you've watched in the season?
Yes, number 2 and number 5. And you guys are going to realize that I don't really know no names of people. So number 2 and number 5 are pretty electrifying receivers on the offensive side of the football. They're going to try to get the ball to those guys, and you know, short passing game, deep passing games. Those are 2 guys that are really making plays for them. On the defensive side of the ball, it's their front 7. they give up some yards in the rushing game. They're a young football team and a new staff trying to put things together. But, you know, we understand that if you look at the work and not just the last game, and you can see that those guys do have a good football team and they play some pretty good defense.
Coach, Barry, was it something that you said or one of your coaches said to Barry to make his season turn around, or was it him just doing it? Because not only in the Jackson State game, but in the FAMU game, he catches the ball, first defender, first tackler can't get him. He's like a tight end almost moving with the ball.
Well, we preached last week just finishing. And, you know, Mike Berry's a big receiver. And the good thing about him is that I believe he has the confidence that he displayed last season. He's catching the football. Once you catch the football, you can do some other things with it. Once he cleared his mind and understood that, you know, the drops in the past, I mean, just that extra effort is what I think willed us to a victory.
If winning breeds confidence, how's the team right now? I mean, after such a slow start, confidence-wise.
Well, you know, I just believe that as a coach, we try to just take it one game at a time. Of course, these kids hadn't been in this predicament before. They're excited. You know, the bus ride back, you know, they don't even know how to celebrate. You know, it's just they look at me and I look at them and say, hey, we're doing this together. But it's good to see these guys having the excitement. It makes practice a lot fun, make preparing for the next opponent a whole lot better. So it's always better to prepare for the next one after a W.
Any more questions for Coach Odums? All right, thanks, Coach Odums.
I've got you, bro.